All right, what up? Therapy time again. It's Tuesday. I hope everybody doing all right. It's gonna be a quick story. This gonna be back. Back in the '90s. Back in the '90s back in like Van Nuys area, Valley Glen, Sherman Oaks and shit. Uh, Over in that area, fucking the Wissett Avenue Gangster Crips and the Barrio Van Nuys they used to go at it. And the BBNs, it wasn't nobody really backing down back then. Like they was going at it. It got to the point literally where it was like me and the homies and shit would be walking down the street and the BBNs would jump out on us with pistols and shit or pull up on us with pistols in the car. It'd be like, fuck Wissett. Fuck Wissett. Be like, damn homie, we ain't from like nigga, we ain't from Wissett. And they'll just be like, take off and shit. But he'd be like, yo. Like this type of shit niggas dealing with. I know now, probably, I don't know, shit. Now them niggas probably would have, these little young kids now just coming up shooting and shit. But back then, the niggas at least wait for you to say something, you know what I mean, majority of the time. So anyway, this story is about one of those occasions. And I got to go back a little bit to like about a week before that. After school at Grant, right there, we used to catch a dash. We used to catch a dash right there on motherfucking Burbank in Coldwater. Burbank and Coldwater catch that bitch all the way to Van Nuys Sherman Oaks Park. Damn near every day after school. Cause three of the homies live right there. By the mall, by the fashion square, one of the homies stayed. Then right there by the other side of the park, where the bums and shit used to kick it at, two of the homies. Then one of the homies stayed by the tennis courts. Like in the back of the tennis court apartments over there. So anyway, we used to go over there and kick it in shit every day. That Van Nuys Sherman Oaks. That's where I played baseball and flag football and all that shit. So that was like home front. So one day after school, I'm not even. I missed this one too. I forget what happened, but I'm not there. I was hearing it. I hear about it after. But the homie get into it. The homie get into it on the dash and shit. Beat him up. They said the homie beat a nigga up from the back of the dash to the front. Just boo, 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 boo. Fucking some tagging ass, some tagger motherfucker. So anyway, some little tag banging ass nigga. Excuse me. So anyways, about a week later, right? I wasn't there and shit, but I know who dude was, who they was talking about from my brother and shit. And like he about my brother age or a little older. So I'm like, all right, I know who the fuck they talking about. So all right, I know he from somewhere and shit. So it's like, all right, I ain't worried about no taggers and no tag bangers. Like they better not. Like you better not go there, homie, or something. But anyway, so one night, I want to say we fucking we go fucking damn. I don't even. Somehow I ended up on motherfucking Van Nuys and Victory. I want to say it was from another party or some shit. Niggas had left a nigga, and another nigga had dropped us off and shit. It was Donnie, and fucking Sleep. So fucking them niggas got to go down Van Nuys. So they got to go fucking south down Van Nuys and shit. So they over there waiting on like the 233, the 561 and shit, the 420, which is the 156 or whatever the fuck take them down. I'm waiting on the Victory Bucks, the 164. So fucking, I'm standing on Victory and shit. The two of the homies and shit standing over here on Van Nuys and shit, but we can see each other. And it's about one. Nah, because the bus is still running, so it had to be like fucking 10:30 or something, like 10:30, 11. I'm waiting on like the last bus. Like it's like one or two more buses coming. I'm waiting on. So fucking, next thing I know, I see a car pull up on them from across the street and stop at the bus stop, and somebody start shout, da 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 da. So I'm like, woo! I'm like, cuckoo, cuckoo. Like back then, that was a call, cuckoo, cuckoo. Do that, niggas know, like, all right, that's the homies. That's the homies and shit. Where they at? So fucking, the car take off. The homies come across the street, boom, come over. I'm like, what the fuck was that about? I mean, I'm like, what the fuck was that? He was like, man, the homie was like, yo, that was the nigga I beat up on the dash about a week ago. He said he was like, yo, they was like two or three deep. He was like, they had bats in the car though. So I'm like, man, nigga had bats? Like, man, take the fucking bat from him, beat their ass with it. So anyway, I wasn't tripping like, nigga, if niggas come back, nigga, I don't beat their ass. I don't give a fuck if they got bats or whatever the fuck. As long as they got pistols and shit, we still good. And even then, I still got a chance, nigga, if you got a pistol and don't know how to use it. So anyway, they come over there. As soon as they come across the street, right, I look up and I see headlights. But it's a green light. It's a green light. But I see headlights parked, like stopped right there at the green light on Victory. Like it's on Victory looking at me from across the street. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like on some boys in the hood shit, like, yo, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? And they just got, I'm like, yo, it's a green light, but these motherfuckers got the headlights and shit on me, but they ain't going nowhere. So next thing I know, when we all look, motherfucking car just said, it was a Crown Vic. I thought it was the police at first, but it just went across the street. And when it pulled up on us, like it pulled up to the side, so we all turned this way, and it stopped. Skirt. And when we looking this way, I'm not even knowing it. It's a SA, it's a BVN SA and shit. He done jumped out. They done let the nigga out. He crossed the street on some sneaky shit. Fucking, the car took our attention off of him. So we looking at the car and shit. This nigga come this way and he like, fuck with it. He like, fuck with it, fuck with it. I'm like, homie, we ain't, I'm like, nigga, I was sitting down on a bench at this time. So we had to chill out for a minute, like, but I was sitting down on the bench, on the bus bench, and he was like, fuck with it. And he ran right up on me too. My other two of them was standing right there by the bench, but I'm sitting down, he ran right up on me like, yo, fuck with it, fuck with it. Yeah, I jumped up. But the whole time he like this. He got his hand in shit. He like, fuck with it, fuck with it. I jumped off the bench. Like, homie, I ain't from West, nigga, I'm from Boo, banged on him. He like, huh? Like, what? The homie's like, so, like, nigga, this nigga. I'm like, nah, like, I just get to the point where it's just like, nigga, you have to kill me right now. Like, my pride kicked in and all that shit, like, nah, I ain't going out like that. Like, nigga. So anyways, and it was trippy because it was like, yo, this is the same motherfuckers I know. I recognize it because I used to go to junior high with I went to Van Nuys Junior High, so I knew a lot of the motherfuckers. So fucking, a bigger, fatter motherfucker came out. And he was like, he was like, what's up? I was like, nigga, I ain't from Winston, I'm from woo woo woo. He looked at the other little nigga with the pistol and shit who came banging and shit. He was like, man, let's get out of here. These vatos don't want none and shit. I'm like, man, I got no pistol right now, but I'll beat the shit out of both you motherfuckers. But they end up jumping in the Crown Vic and taking off. I'm like, damn. That was another one nigga slipped away from. Like, all right, the niggas, actual reality, let's look at this shit like this. Could have came up, right? They could have let him out the car. Dude could have came up. He couldn't even had to just said nothing. He could have just started dumping all three of us. And in the car, them niggas could have started dumping on all three of us too. So we could have actually, in actual reality, been getting shot from dude on the street and from the motherfuckers in the car. And we all would have been killed that night. But luckily that shit didn't happen. And we got away. That was one night, but that wasn't the only time niggas, they used to just do that shit. Run up, or like just pull up on you and be like, yo, that's so much wish that ass was putting you in at work back in the 90s. They hated, the BVNs hated their ass. And vice versa. You know, homies I was kicking it with from Wishet, I ain't seen a nigga in about 20 years and shit, but last time, I don't know. Anyways, hope y'all enjoyed that one. Y'all motherfuckers stay out of trouble, man.